Hello and welcome back to the Schmeat channel. I am back home. The last couple of videos, I think I recorded 2 videos where the quality was probably messed up. I know in the first video it was like 360p quality, but I am back home, back to regularly talking about the Hornets. That we have a game tonight versus the Knicks. I don't know if you guys are going to see this before or after, but you guys are going to see this regardless. But let's get right into the news. Lamelo is back. Lamelo is back. 7 to 10 days. It's like the wrist injury just didn't affect him. I heard this news like yesterday, and I was ecstatic, man, because it was up in the air whether or not he was going to play out the rest of these. I think there's 14. We have 14 games left. It was up in the air whether he was going to play him or not. And I know I'm wearing this shirt. I didn't even reference it till now, but I did have an interview for this one program for my college. That's besides the point. Didn't change yet. But Lamelo is back. As a Hornets fan, obviously I'm ecstatic, because it felt like it was a sudden injury, right? It like when this injury happened, I recorded it like probably 15 minutes after I heard the news, and I was like, I didn't expect him to have this injury because I watched the game. It didn't seem like a serious injury. It seemed like he might have been out just 1 to 2 games. He was out for weeks, but he is back. And with 14 games left, this kind of proves that we are in a playoff push, because if we weren't, the ownership, the management, the coach, JB, would all say, get your rest, play next season, because we're going to have a real push next season. But if he's coming back with 14 games left, that means we want to make a push. We want to win a playoff series. We're currently we dropped a few rankings, or dropped a few spots in the standings. I can look up what we are as of today. We're not even in the top 5. We are 8. We are 8 in the East, which is a far drop from the 4 position. I mean, we're only 3 games back from the 4 spot, which the Hawks, Celtics, Knicks, Heat are all ahead of us, which I referenced in my Everybody's Out video. I think it was a few videos back, that were a dumpster fire, and we were going to drop in the standings to some of these teams. I didn't expect us to drop all the way to the 8 seed. I expected us to drop to the 6 seed, but we were on a 4-game skid, which in the East means that you're dropping down all these positions. But 10 teams this year make the playoffs, so it's not like we're a fringe playoff team. I mean, we're solidly in the playoffs right now. The 10 seed, the Bulls, after acquiring Vucevic, they did not do so hot in their last 10 games. They're 5-5 in the last 10 games. I mean, we're 4-6, but we're still 4 games ahead of them. We're 2 games ahead of the Pacers, who do have some cakewalks for the next couple games, so they could pass us in the standings, but we're still going to be a playoff team at the end of the day. The Wizards are tied with the Bulls right now. So are the Raptors. They're a half game back from the Wizards, so it's very tight in the East. So, but I would say we're probably solidified as a playoff team right now, especially with Lamelo coming back. If we dropped to, like 11th or 12th in the standings, I would say, Lamelo, get your rest. I'll see you next season for a great season with Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward next season. But he is back this season. He's back with, in 7 to 10 days, we're probably going to have, 8 games left. And it should be noted that in the sports betting world, I don't know if many people who watch my videos are into sports betting, but he is back into the Rookie of the Year favorite at -210, I believe, which is exciting to see. I didn't put any money on him at the start of the year because I was one of those people that were skeptical of LaMelo Ball. But I think it's smart money if you did invest in LaMelo Ball right now, because he would be the Rookie of the Year. Like, let's be honest, he's the best rookie out of this class so far. Don't know if he's going to be it at the end of his career, because it's all up in the air, right? Whether guys last 15 years in the NBA or 3 years in the NBA. But with LaMelo being back, I am pretty confident that we could maybe push a 7-game series. I don't know if we're going to win a series, right? Because Gordon Hayward, Malik Monk, Devontae Graham's been out the last couple games. I think he was back for last game versus the Portland Trailblazers. Devontae Graham was back last game versus the Portland Trailblazers. PJ Washington's been iffy. We've had a lot of players out at the end of the day. So if we can get it together, if we can have most of our injured guys back before the playoffs, I think we're going to be set because we have a few games under our belt with the guys that have been injured coming back with the guys who have been playing, because it's interesting how the guys that have been injured, like Malik Monk and Lamelo Ball, who are accustomed to getting up their shots, getting up or playing the amount of minutes that they have been, to be readjusted in the lineup when guys like Miles Bridges have been doing so good. The guys like Jalen McDaniels have been getting these major minutes. It's going to be interesting to figure out how these players play the amount of minutes that they're supposed to, and how to get that continuity together with the team. But I'm pretty confident if we have a few games under our belt before the playoffs, although we're a young team, we're a learning team, I think I'm pretty confident in saying that we'll be good in the playoffs and we'll be a hard team to beat in the playoffs. Obviously, the Hornets have a history of not being a hard team to beat in the playoffs. We've lost in 4 games to teams in the past. I think we lost to the Heat recently. In the last time we made the playoffs, I might be mistaken on that, but we don't have Kemba Walker anymore. We don't have a G League lineup. We have Gordon Hayward. We have good players around us that can be streaky, streaky as in Malik Monk goes off for 40 or Miles Bridges go off for 30. Guys in the scouting report that teams will have to be weary for, and we got a lot of those guys in the lineup. Brad Wanamaker can have a 12-assist night if he wants to, but it's going to be interesting where we land in the playoffs and who we play. Like right now, there's a play-in game, so we'd play the Bulls, I believe. Does the 8 play the 10? Something like that. And then if, say, we win in the play-in tournament, we would play the 76ers or the Brooklyn Nets, who are basically 1 and 2 in the standings, but they're basically intertwined. I think Brooklyn is 1 game back, so anything can happen at the top 2 spots. The Bucks, with their injuries, with Giannis being out just a couple games, are solidly in the 3rd spot. They're 4 games back from the number 1 spot, but looks like we're playing one of the top teams, and I think we can give a game or two. Like, let's hypothetically, like the Hornets versus the 76ers, like, how would that series play out? It would be bad at the end of the day. You can't ask Cody Zeller, Bismack Biyombo, and Vernon Carey to guard Joel Embiid. That's just not a good matchup any of the time. And if, say, we do small ball, which we love to do small ball now because it's proven that it works with PJ Washington, because in my PJ Washington video, I reference how he's a versatile guy and how he can play that 5 for us. But you can't play small ball against Joel Embiid. He's just one of the top centers in the league. Everybody knows it. Hornets know it. If they play him, they can't guard him. Ben Simmons just going to feed him. I think it will be hard to put one of our guards, because we do have small guards at the end of the day. LaMelo Ball is 6'8", but he is tiny as his body structure. Terry Rozier's is 6'3". Devontae Graham's like 6'1". We have small guards. I don't know if they can guard Ben Simmons. I don't know, because we allow, like, our defensive strategy is to allow threes, protect the paint, which I don't really agree with at the end of the day, because who's supposed to protect the paint for us? Cody fucking Zeller? No. So they have good 3-point shooters. Matisse Thybulle has been doing really good on defense, but he has really been picking it up on offense as well. Seth Curry. They got shooters on the outside. They got Furkan Korkmaz off the bench. They got shooters that can torch us, so I'm not very confident in the 76ers. We could win a game or two. The Nets, come on, man. Say we lock up, say Miles Bridges. Say we play a small ball lineup because they like to play small ball. Say Miles Bridges locks up Kevin Durant. Say Terry Rozier locks up Kyrie Irving. They still got fucking James Harden, so I'm not very confident in the Nets. They're probably my title favorites right now. I know a lot of people like to say the Lakers are still their title favorites if they're healthy. I would still say the Nets, man. They got so much firepower, and people knock on their defense. Like, defense does win championships. They're middle of the pack right now since the All-Star break, so it's not like they're terrible at defense. like that's a main knock on him, and I don't think that's really a knock because Kevin Durant, when he wants to play defense, plays defense. James Harden has proven that he was clowned in Houston, mainly in like 2015 and 2016 about not playing defense. He can play defense, guys. He can play. Kyrie Irving, not the best defender. You can't expect him to play defense. Jeff Green will do it all out there. Nicholas Claxton, above average defender. They got pieces around him to play defense. So it's not like they're this scrub defensive team. Like the Brooklyn Nets can hold their own. So if the Hornets play them, it's going to be a dumpster fire. So if we can get to the 6th seed with Lamelo back, that'll be amazing. I know I rambled for most of this video. It's going on 10 minutes, but I'm very excited for LaMelo Ball to be back in the day. That's going to be the title of this video, the thumbnail. I'm very excited for him to come back because I do want to see a playoff appearance from us. I know I referenced in a month or two ago that I didn't want to see that I wanted us to maybe not tank, but fall out of the playoffs, get a good top pick, get a lottery pick, and go from there, get a center. But there's not a lot of good centers in this draft class. You got Evan Mobley, and I was looking at draft boards, and there's not too many centers. Obviously, there's good college centers. Like I was going to make a video about the difference between a college center and their dominance and an NBA center. In this college season, I know I'm rambling and I got to stop soon, but in this college season, who do you think was the better player? Drew Timme or Evan Mobley? Probably Drew Timme, because he led their team. Even like Luka Garza was a better player than Evan Mobley, but who's going to be the top draft pick? Evan Mobley is, because he's a 7-footer that's lean, that can somewhat shoot the three. He likes his mid-range shot. He's better at the mid-range shot. And Drew Timme and Luka Garza are just big bodies in college, and their game doesn't really translate to the NBA world. They may have translated in a couple years in the NBA. Say they get drafted, they get accustomed to the NBA life. Like Frank Kaminsky, I always reference him in my videos because it's amazing how bad he was on the Hornets when he was drafted, and it's expected because these college centers don't translate to the NBA game. But for Frank's case, he's understood that to be in this league as a 7-footer that is a big body, you need to shoot, and he's been shooting for the Suns. He's been their all around guy. He's been a defensive presence. So if we could get Frank Kaminsky back, I would do that any day. He has improved so much, and I'm actually proud of him. We didn't extend his qualifying offer when we had him, and I was when I was a fan at that time. I wasn't making YouTube videos. I was ecstatic because I didn't think he'd end up as a good player. He'd be like a Sam Decker, if you guys remember Sam Decker, but he has proven me wrong. But anyways, LaMelo Ball is back. That's the basis of the video. That's the basis of this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.